What exactly is happening behind closed doors in Washington and Brussels? Why did two versions of the same peace plan suddenly appear, one prepared by the United States and the other drafted by the European Union? And why do these documents differ so significantly? Today, many analysts are asking, are Western partners moving toward a single strategy? Or are we seeing the beginning of a deeper political split? Why does Kyiv react sharply to some of the proposals, while European politicians insist on changes to the American blueprint? And most importantly, how could these disagreements influence the future of the entire negotiation process? Over the past several days, more and more details have surfaced from leaked drafts of peace proposals. Both Washington and Brussels prepared plans meant to serve as a potential foundation for future talks. But instead of a unified roadmap, we now see two different visions with different priorities, different timelines, and different assumptions about security guarantees. This raises a key question. If major Western players themselves cannot fully agree on key points, how will they present a single approach to both Kyiv and Moscow? And how will this influence the next steps toward a potential settlement? Today we analyze what's behind these disagreements, why they matter, and what the long-term consequences could be. Recent reports indicate that the American and European drafts share the same number of points, 28, yet the content of several sections differs. These differences are not minor technical details. They reflect competing priorities and contrasting political perspectives. One of the most sensitive topics remains the question of Ukraine's long-term security framework. According to leaks, the U.S. version reportedly suggests that Ukraine should formalize a commitment not to join the alliance, a step intended to stabilize the region and provide long-term certainty. However, the European draft takes a different approach. It suggests that any future membership would depend on consensus within the alliance without binding Ukraine to any constitutional limitations. This softer formulation reflects European caution. Many EU states want to keep flexibility while avoiding irreversible obligations. Another noticeable discrepancy involves the proposed size of Ukraine's military. American officials reportedly suggest limiting the active personnel to around 600,000. In contrast, the European proposal mentions a higher figure, up to 800,000. This gap reflects different assessments of regional security needs. Some European states believe that Ukraine should maintain a larger defense structure given current realities. U.S. drafters, meanwhile, emphasize long-term sustainability and financial pressure. The European draft reportedly includes a clause that NATO forces would not be stationed in Ukraine during peacetime. The American version, based on leaks, does not include that specification. This distinction has caused active debate. Analysts note that the EU version aims to reduce tensions and avoid any interpretations that could be viewed as escalatory. Washington's plan, however, keeps options more open. Another sensitive area concerns the future of economic relations and the question of restrictive measures against Russia. The American plan allegedly proposes a path toward lifting many of the restrictions once a comprehensive agreement is reached. The European version, however, speaks about the possibility of easing measures gradually, emphasizing that the review would be step-by-step and conditional. This difference reflects the varied political climate across Europe, where some countries advocate for caution in economic normalization. Kyiv's reaction has been cautious and, according to insiders, occasionally tense. Officials publicly state they welcome diplomatic efforts, but reports suggest that some provisions of the American draft may cause concern in the Ukrainian capital. European politicians express skepticism regarding certain points in the U.S. plan. Several EU leaders emphasize that any peace framework must consider European security architecture and integrate long-term commitments. Washington, meanwhile, maintains that the goal is to coordinate positions, stressing that the drafts are still under discussion. Moscow notes the inconsistencies between Western approaches and warns that constructive dialogue requires clarity and unity among global partners.